Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our Learn from the Leaders webinar featuring our newest Green Clean School Steering Committee members and the stories of their journeys towards green cleaning success. We're excited all of you could join us and hope that you enjoyed today's webinar. My name is Sherry Solomon, and I'm the Program Director for the Green Clean program at Healthy Schools Campaign, which is the organization hosting today's webinar. Before we get started and hear from our fabulous group of panelists, we'd just like to quickly review some basics for today's webinar. Today's webinar will run for approximately 1 hour, and a recording will be available to view after today. We'll email a link of the recording, and it will also be archived on the Green Clean Schools website by the end of the week. Also, at the end of the webinar, if you could take a minute to complete a quick survey about the webinar, we truly appreciate your feedback. We'll save about 15 minutes at the end of the webinar for a question and answer session with our speakers. If you can ask questions by typing a question into the questions box located on your control panel and clicking on the send button. Feel free to send questions throughout in the questions box at any time during the presentation, and we will collate them and answer them during the Q&A session at the end. In addition, we will be introducing audience polls throughout the webinar as we introduce each speaker. We encourage you to participate so we can get a better feel about our audience. Results will be shared immediately following each poll. Please note, HSC does not endorse specific cleaning technologies or manufacturers. The intention of this webinar is to present the cleaning technology and processes selected by these schools and should not be construed as an endorsement or recommendation of any kind. Now, just a little bit about the Healthy Schools Campaign and our Green Clean Schools program. At Healthy Schools Campaign, we recognize the importance of providing students and staff with the opportunity to learn and work in a place that is healthy and safe. HSC is based on the simple and common sense notion that healthy students are better learners and that health and wellness should be incorporated into every aspect of the school experience. We advocate for policies and practices that support student health and school wellness. We also build the capacity of the district, schools, and communities so that the change is meaningful and sustainable. At Healthy Schools Campaign, we recognize the importance of providing students and staff with the opportunity to learn and work in a place that is healthy and safe. We recognize that schools are built and maintained to contribute to a positive setting for learning and working. We recognize that an institution's approach to cleaning says a lot about how they value students and staff, the communities they are located in, the planet, and their sense of connectedness to the broader sense of good and future generations. At Healthy Schools Campaign, we believe that green cleaning helps students stay healthy and learn, that it protects the health of the custodial staff, increases the lifespan of facilities, preserves the environment, and ensures fiscal responsibility. Cleaning for health without harming the environment is the green way, and this is a system that sees continuous improvements. That's why we work hard to make sure that schools have the resources they need to make healthier, greener cleaning decisions. That's where our Green Clean School Steering Committee comes in. The steering committee is comprised of dedicated facility managers from schools and universities across the country with award-winning, pioneering green cleaning programs. These on-the-ground green cleaning leaders have not only helped create healthier and safer educational facilities for their communities, but also they've demonstrated a commitment to leading their peers and galvanizing the green cleaning movement. The members of the Green Clean Schools Steering Committee are thought leaders, using their practical knowledge and experience to advise Healthy Schools Campaign Green Clean Schools program to best serve the educational facility sector. In addition, committee members help influence cleaning industry suppliers and manufacturers to provide greener, healthier innovations for schools and universities. Members of the Green Clean Schools Steering Committee are ambassadors for the Healthy Schools Green Clean Schools program, using our resources and their personal achievements to teach peers through presentations at Green Clean School events and publish articles in trade publications. Most importantly, the members of the committee provide a living example that green cleaning makes an incredible impact on the health and education of students and is attainable. A special note If you would like to hear today, if you like what you hear today, you may also get to meet all of our steering committee members and hear more in-depth information about their success stories at the Green Clean Schools track at ISSA this October 29th and 30th in Dallas, Texas. Learn more about the event, including how to register, at our website, greencleanschools.org, under Events. We have a wonderful lineup of speakers today for today's webinar, 4 of our newest members of the steering committee, and we are so thrilled to have them. Shawna Cragun, Director of Custodial Services, Davis School District. Christopher Rains, Custodial Receiving Supervisor, Folsom Lake Community College. Aaron Uresti, Assistant Director of Custodial and Housekeeping Services, Facilities Services. And Tony Almeida, Manager, Custodial Services at Elk Grove Unified School District. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Shawna Cragun. Shawna has been part of the Davis School District for 11 years and serves as the Director of Custodial Services. She oversees 665 employees that protect the health of 72,500 students and 8,000 staff members while managing 102 buildings with a combined 10.5 million square feet of floor space. She also served as president of the Utah School Custodial Managers Association and as spotlight spokesperson for the Indoor Air Quality Division of the U.S. EPA. Shawna received the 2018 Outstanding Administrator of the Year from the Utah School Employees Association and the Green Cleaning Award for Schools and Universities 2018 Silver Award. So before we have Shawna present our first poll as far as who you are, looks like we have 44% of school staff, which is great to see, and 50% of others, which I'd imagine are a number of different vendors and suppliers to the industry. So with that, Shawna?
Thank you, Sherry. So as Sherry said, I'm Shawna Cragun. I'm the Director of Custodial Services for Davis School District. Next slide, please. I have been in custodial, I have just recently come into custodial, so the 39 years before I was in custodial, 20 of those years I spent underneath the financial umbrella, specifically in auditing, accounting, and procurement. 7 of those years I spent at Davis School District, specifically in procurement. I'm just shy of receiving my MBA. Personally, I've been focused on environmental causes and air quality since probably junior high. Environmental awareness is very much a part of my day-to-day life, as is reducing consumption. Just to kind of give you an idea, at my house, we don't use any aggressive chemicals and haven't for about 15 years. We don't burn candles, we don't use perfumes. We have the exact amount of plants per based on our square footage per occupant in my house to create the best possible air quality. Based on what the EPA says, creates the best possible air quality on their website. Next slide, please. So the last 4 years, I received the Director of Custodial Services position in June of 2014, and I was very excited and very thankful for the opportunity. Thankful for the opportunity to change a lot of the things that I had seen over the course of the last 7 years that I thought, I know there's a better way of doing that. But also really excited for the opportunity to align my personal values with my career goals and honestly to make a big difference in the lives of student and staff. So this think big, start small, scale fast. That's kind of the way I do things. I've been in the program for 7 years. We have made a phenomenal amount of change. We've reduced our chemicals by more than 2/3. We have changed a lot of our chemicals. We've changed a lot of our consumables to more environmentally friendly products. We've changed a lot of our processes. We have just really revamped our entire program and still have a tremendous amount left to do. Just think big. You know, honestly, my intention is to save the world. I have plans and spreadsheets of all of the changes that I would like to make to this program that will last me for years and years and years. But ultimately, I'd really like to change the world. Start small. You have to start small by building trust with the people that work for you and the people that you work around. It's really important to have their buy-in as you proceed forward with a sustainability program. And then this scale fast. You know, if you lose momentum, it is so hard to get it back. Once you start to make change, you really need to scale fast and make those improvements. We've been able to make a tremendous amount of change the last 4 years, but honestly have plans, like I said, for probably decades more. I wish there were more hours in the day, but there are not. Next slide, please. So as far as what led me here, you know, I think my background of being environmentally focused is definitely one of the reasons that I'm here. But another huge contributing factor is the associations, the colleagues, and the mentors that you have in your life. And I was very fortunate. About 2 weeks after receiving this position, I attended my first Utah Schools Custodial Managers Association annual conference. And I met colleagues from all these surrounding school districts that, you know, some of them have nothing green, some of them are very conventional programs, some of them have phenomenal programs, like the program just to my south in Salt Lake School District. And at that meeting, I met Robin, Ricky, Ricardo, and Merv. And this is a picture of Merv Brewer. He is another Healthy Schools Green Cleaning Steering Committee member. I'm sure that a lot of people that are listening know exactly who he is. But at that meeting, him and I talked. We found out we had a lot of very similar interests. Quickly following that, I went to the Utah IPM Coalition meeting and got the opportunity to speak with him even more about the IPM program that Salt Lake was running. And very quickly, I determined that Merv and I were going to be friends. We had a lot of similar interests. We were clearly focused on the same types of things, protecting students and staff and the environment. Because of my affiliation with him, he introduced me to the Healthy Schools Green Cleaning group. He invited me to my first leadership summit, which was held in Seattle. And honestly, it was a phenomenal experience. I'd only been in the program a couple of months, but I walked into this room filled with hundreds of people that were all very like-minded. They're all working in education, whether that's K-12 or higher ed. They all are looking at ways to protect student and staff health, but also to protect the environment and to make sustainable decisions. It was a very cool experience to be able to be in that room surrounded with those people. Some of them had ideas that were so far beyond what we could even conceive at the time. Some of them were very, very, in the very beginning phases of their programs, were even further behind than we were, and we were just in the very beginning. Because of the leadership summit, I was also able to go to the ISA educational track that is held by Green Clean, and that was, again, just really an awesome experience. I met some wonderful people there. I actually met Tracy from the EPA and have been able to build a relationship with the EPA as well. But these 5 organizations have made just a tremendous impact on my life, on my program, on the health and protection of the environment, the health of the students and staff in Davis School District. So I'm very thankful for all of these associations and specifically for this guy, Merv Brewer. So next slide, please. As far as what our biggest wins are, like I said, we've changed almost all of our consumables. We've changed a tremendous amount of our chemicals. We've changed a lot of our processes, all with a healthier focus in mind, with the intention of protecting student and staff health and the environment. And I think we've made, honestly, a true impact that's very, very visible, and I'm very thankful for that. But the empowered and valued staff, when I came into custodial services in Davis, our staff really felt like they were there every day just cleaning and not receiving any appreciation. Their job didn't really matter. And if you asked any one of the 665 custodians in Davis School District today what their job is about, they would tell you it's about protecting children, and that they have a huge impact on education every single day by the things that they do. So I really feel like that is probably the biggest win, is just having a very knowledgeable, very empowered staff that really understands their value in education. Of course, we received some phenomenal awards, and It's always wonderful to receive recognition. We did receive the Best New Program, the Silver Award in 2018, and that award was not only for me and my administration staff, but again, for every custodian in our school district. And we really celebrated that win together as a huge team. It was awesome. Next slide, please. So the thing that we fight against most, or the thing that's the most difficult for us in Davis School District, I'm sure is the same for every other school district. It's just difficult fighting people's perception, their lack of knowledge. We're fighting against the perception that 30 or 40 years ago happened with the greenwashing, with products that, you know, were not cost effective. They did not work well, and a lot of them, when they were really looked into, were not green at all. So we've been fighting that perception, trying to get people to understand things aren't what they were. Green products are just as effective, if not more so. They're just as cost effective. We have testing that shows that, and it's the right thing to do for student and staff health. So just fighting the perception and getting people to understand the validity of green has been the challenge. But in Davis, we all believe that we are educators. We support learning first, and I have no problem being the one to help educate people specifically on the value of green. Next slide, please. So what am I planning on doing with this opportunity to be a steering committee member? You know, again, our motto in Davis is learning first. So that's my intention. My intention is to, you know, absorb as much information as I can from all of the people that I come into contact with, to share as much information as I can with all of the people that are willing to listen and want to make change, to help as many school districts as possible. I really want to just take in as much information as possible and do everything I can for the students of Davis School District and, you know, the students everywhere. And again, ultimately, I would really like to change the world. Next slide, please. So in closing, I would just like to say that I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity to speak with you guys. I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity to be a steering committee member. And, you know, any help that I could provide anybody, I would always be willing to do that. I'm very humbled to be part of a member of this group. They're such brilliant, brilliant people. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, Shawna. Your passion and your commitment really shine through. Now I'd like to introduce our second speaker, Christopher Rains. Christopher has spent the last 19 years in custodial facilities maintenance, 15 of those in a leadership role. For the last 6 years, Chris has been a Folsom Lake Community College as the custodial receiving department supervisor. Chris oversees 16 buildings covering over 500,000 square feet. In 2016, Chris launched a department-wide reorder of cleaning methods with green cleaning as the main focus of the department. Folsom Lake Community College received honorable mention for Best New Program in 2017. And before we send it over to Chris, poll number 2, how could you benefit from learning from our steering committee members? 33% more webinars like this. 67% mentoring, which is a key component of our green cleaning program, so that's great to hear. 67% smaller events closer to my school, and 33% online articles written by them. Christopher?
Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Christopher Rains. I've been in the field for approximately 20 years. In that 20-year period, I have worked my way up from a sub-custodian, from a full-time custodian, night lead, head custodian, custodial receiving supervisor, and now I have an interim role at one of my sister colleges in the Los Rios Community College District at Cosumnes River College as the Director of Administrative Services. Next slide, please. Again, from Folsom Lake College is where I have the main bulk of my experience in the green cleaning field. The college is approximately 15 years old. As mentioned, 16 custodians, 500,000 square feet, serving right around 9,000 students. It has 2 outreach centers. I am also a member of a CASBO, the M&O section chair for the Sacramento area. And as pointed out here, a member of the steering committee for Healthy Schools as the green cleaning program. Next slide, please. Green cleaning, the biggest thing that I got out of on the first seminar up at the University of Washington was I had been having conversations with one of my committee members here, Tony Almeida. Me and him used to work together at Elk Grove Unified, and we had been having conversations on on-site generation. And once spending a couple of days up there at Gene's beautiful facility up there by Seattle, it became very clear to me that the on-site generation track that I had been looking at was where I needed to go. It was very informative and gave me the firm ground that I could change my program and move forward in improving the indoor air quality and the environment of the students and staff. Me and Tony have been sort of using our relationship to sort of leverage our districts that, you know, we're not the only ones trying to do this. This is what Las Rios is doing, or I'm saying this is what Elk Grove Unified is doing, and it's been a fairly successful relationship so far on getting some of the changes implemented in both of our respected districts. Next slide, please. The biggest win-win for me has been the success of the program on the impact on the staff, the site, and the budgets. And I'll talk more on that in a minute on how the ripple effect comes from when you change things, and just the cascade effect of how things can move out. For me, finally putting my program out there to try to get it noticed actually was very successful, because I got noticed and I was able to be selected to be on the Healthy Schools campaign as the steering committee member. It's been a really good positive impact, because from getting put on that, it allowed me a greater voice inside the district on trying to get my sister colleges to follow suit in what we're doing, and I'm having a pretty good ground game and success on that. I'm almost having to provide monthly updates on what Folsom Lake College is doing, and also now Consumnes River College is doing. So it's been a very positive change all around for the Los Rios Community College District. Next slide, please. And again, the biggest challenge that I've always had to try to convince people, sustainable green cleaning program isn't just about the chemicals. Yes, it can start there, and it is probably the biggest impact you can get at the start. As Shawna said, that think big, start small, and scale fast. I'm stealing that, by the way. The ripple effect of the program, from the indoor air quality, the reduced water being used, positive impacts on the employees, students, and the facility, and then from the budget savings, allowing yourself the flexibility to now start bringing on additional pieces of equipment or replacing old pieces of equipment to get better HEPA filters on vacuum cleaners and all those things, is having that conversation with the decision makers and realizing that, yes, we're starting here with some on-site generation of chemicals, but that's not where we're gonna, that's just not the end game. The end game is new equipment, improved paper products, and going all that route. So next slide, please. My role as a Green Clean Steering Committee member, I feel is one of the things I remind myself on a daily basis when I'm in conversations like this. Don't be afraid to lead. You're changing something, and a lot of people that would listen to this type of webinar deal with custodians and janitorials. Change is always resistant, but it's one of those things you can't not do it. Get out there and lead, and you'll find slowly over time that everyone gets on board if you handle the articulation and the selling of the program correctly, which would be another point I would always articulate out to those people. Use the pushback that you get from the change as a way to try to improve how you explain the benefits of the program. Don't take the initial pushback on this doesn't work, whatnot. Sharpen the repertoire, reach out to members like myself and the other steering committees and ask for those pointers of those that have already sort of gone through those battles, to point out how you can articulate out and explain the benefits of why the change is there and how it is effective and the benefits you're going to get from it. And with that, I would say I am done.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. We truly appreciate your expertise. Now I'd like to introduce our third speaker, Aaron Uresti. Aaron has over 17 years of experience in the commercial cleaning industry and has worked in education facilities for the past 12 years. In his current role at UC Riverside, he is responsible for leading a department of over 150 employees that clean approximately 6 million square feet of building space daily using sustainable products and methods. Prior to his role at UC Riverside, Aaron was Senior Superintendent of Custodial Services at the University of California, Irvine, where his department won 2 Green Cleaning Awards, Best New Program in 2013, and Honorable Mention in 2015. In regards to the results of our third poll, what aspects of these green cleaning success stories would you like to know more about? 20% the cleaning technologies used, 40% the financial benefits of green cleaning, 60% how administration has supported these programs, and 40% community engagement stories, all very important aspects of green cleaning success. And with that, Aaron, take it away.
Thank you for the introduction, Sherry, and to everybody listening to this webinar. My name is Aaron Uresti, and I'm the Assistant Director for Custodial and Housekeeping Services at the University of California, Riverside. My campus is one of 10 schools in the University of California school system, and we are located in Southern California, about 50 miles east of Los Angeles. We have over 23,000 students and 7,000 staff on our campus. Next slide, please. Here's some personal information about myself. I'm a native Californian where I lived in Northern California through high school. After high school, I moved to Southern California and attended Long Beach State University, where my wife and I met and graduated together with business degrees in marketing. As a student, I had a job where I worked at the campus recycling center. I worked in the booth where the patrons would cash in their cans and bottles, and I would also travel through campus buildings collecting and sorting recycled material. I would say this is where my green cleaning journey actually started, but at the time I didn't know it. A couple other things I like to do in my spare time is I enjoy watching soccer and outdoor activities such as snowboarding and camping. Yosemite National Park is one of my favorite places to visit. Next slide, please. In my professional career, I started out as an outside sales rep in the commercial paint and staffing industries. Just after Y2K, unemployment took a major turn, making it difficult in staffing. So I began looking for another sales job in a different industry. And this is actually how my career started in the cleaning industry. I began working as an outside sales rep for a small building service contractor, or BSC, where I was responsible for acquiring new accounts and ensuring that profits were maximized. I later transitioned into an operations role with a larger BSC, where I was the quality control manager for one of the largest property management accounts in the area. These roles gave me a solid foundation into the industry where I learned things like how to staff a building based on the square footage and the type of facility that you were cleaning, and how to meet cleaning standards, which in turn is meeting the customer's expectations. In 2006, the company promoted me to manage one of their educational accounts, UC Irvine, where I worked as a contractor for about 4 years before the university decided to insource the cleaning operations. At that point, I was offered a position to work directly for UC Irvine to continue to manage the operation. And since then, I've moved to UC Riverside. Looking back, I would say that my green cleaning journey officially started when I arrived at UC Irvine as a contractor. The BSC was placing an emphasis on green cleaning in their accounts by switching from ready-to-use chemicals to dilution control stations. Next slide, please. I had first heard of the Healthy Schools campaign through the annual Green Cleaning Awards that they give out to schools for having exceptional programs. While at UCI, our team won 2 awards, one for Best New Program in 2013, and another honorable mention award in 2015. Since then, I've attended several of their conferences within the last few years, where I've had the chance to hear presentations about current events and innovations happening in our industry. And I've had the opportunity to network and exchange ideas with other cleaning managers about what is working for them in their operation. Everybody is willing to share their ideas and their methods with each other in an effort to grow the green cleaning movement. Next slide, please. When I think about some of the major accomplishments and challenges that I've been involved in, two distinct events come to mind. The first was in 2012, when at UC Irvine, as I mentioned, the cleaning operation was insourced after being contracted out for over 45 years. We only had about 6 months to plan and execute this major transition. One thing that we knew from the beginning was that we wanted to create a more robust green cleaning program than what the contractor had already established. This included the introduction of mechanized equipment like auto scrubbers into the operation. This was a huge challenge for us in that the employees had never used or never even seen this type of equipment before. They were used to cleaning thousands of square feet of floors by dust mopping and damp mopping. So we ended up developing and implementing an extensive training program over several years in order to get the employees to feel comfortable to using the equipment and to gain their buy-in and engagement. Currently at UC Riverside, we recently went through an integration of the physical plant and housing facilities departments. We're taking the best practices from each area and creating one way of providing services. We have a very strong team of managers, supervisors, and employees that are committed to cleaning for health and are continuously finding ways to improve our program. Some things that we've done recently was streamlined and minimized the number of chemicals and paper products that we are using, the majority of which are third-party certified for having safe ingredients. We also switched to using trash liners that are primarily made of recycled content, and we have introduced more mechanized equipment into our fleet for the first time in about 10 years. The result of this is that last year, 82% of our purchases met sustainability criteria. We're currently second among the 10 UC schools in this category, and our goal is to reach 90% within the next 2 years. Next slide, please. It is truly an honor and a privilege to have been selected to serve on the Green Clean Schools Steering Committee. I've enjoyed the opportunity to collaborate with the Healthy Schools Campaign and other leaders from other schools to further the green cleaning movement. This opportunity has also provided me with the ability to share what we're doing at UCR, which I'm very grateful for. Since joining the steering committee, I've had the opportunity to work with managers from other schools that have a desire to establish a green cleaning program on their campuses. I enjoy sharing my experiences with them and providing ideas and recommendations on how they can get started. In closing, I'd like to thank the Healthy Schools Campaign for giving me the chance to share my green cleaning journey. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron. The Healthy Schools Campaign is lucky to have you on the Green Clean Steering Committee. We appreciate you. Now, I'd like to introduce our final speaker for today, Tony Almeida. Tony has over 30 years of experience in the custodial trade. He spent 6 years in the private sector and the last 24 years as part of the Elk Grove Unified School District. Tony currently serves as manager for the Custodial Services Department. Tony oversees 75 buildings with over 6.2 million square feet and 200 staff members. Tony and the GUSD Maintenance and Operations Department were the first district in California to use on-site generation of electrochemical activated solutions. His department won the Green Cleaning Award for Schools and Universities Silver Award in 2017. And before we move it to Tony, final poll, how do you plan to stay engaged with Healthy Schools Campaign after this webinar? This is great results. 75% attend more webinars. 50% apply for the Green Cleaning Award, which, as you heard, all of our steering committee members are winners. 75% reach out to a steering committee member, again, that we are a resource for you. and 50% attend the Green Clean Schools track at ISSA. We look forward to seeing you there. Tony?
Thank you, Sherry. Good afternoon, everyone. Like Sherry was saying, I have about 30 years total experience in the custodial trades. As a matter of fact, right out of high school, I was a building maintenance porter, paying my way through Technical Institute, which I can say I was in the mud of cleaning at the time. Next slide, please. Well, I think we already discussed most of my background. Next slide, please. So how green cleaning got started for us, I'll try to explain it in the time that I have. It's actually been a 15-year journey, and most of our little mini missions have led us to where we are today. In the early part of 2000, we switched from multiple chemicals. I think we had 8 or 9, and we sourced out to one dilution, which meaning one chemical. So we got rid of 8 to 10 cleaning products down to a dilution center where we were only using one. So that was our first battle or mission, you can say. I think our main goal was to look at downsizing our chemistry down to one product at the time. And then, of course, through testing, we, as the district, found a product that was hydrogen peroxide based while using a dilution center. And of course, having a dilution center offers safe handling and more efficient use for our employees. I'd like to also say that green cleaning for us is just one process of the scope of work. It's not just about chemistry, it's about multiple processes that make up a green cleaning program. In 2004, we adopted protein backpack vacuums with HEPA filtration. That was a 2-year journey to change the culture and look at technology to improve our level of service to our students. In 2007, we looked at the time it was called electrochemically activated water. Now I think globally it's referred to on-site generation, and we religiously have used that product in test for over a year before we actually incorporated it into our system now. In 2010, we incorporated a team cleaning concept. I think team cleaning now is called task cleaning or zone cleaning. I think it's what it's referred to today, which helped us utilize tasks, priority tasks to maintain and keep our schools clean and safe. It also helped us prioritize our duties in our classrooms. In 2015, I think Chris mentioned it earlier, we embarked on another journey at the Healthy Schools or Green Schools Leadership Conference at the University of Washington. And the 2 days that we attended the conference, I used that as a motivator for me to come back and share that information with upper management to see what we can do to improve our level of service to our students. Our department has been driven on green cleaning or healthier cleaning habits ever since. Next slide, please. So green cleaning wins. I guess my professional opinion, as leaders and managers and directors and supervisors, our primary goal is to maintain a clean and healthy environment for our students and staff. So that right there is an immediate win for me. Any time that we can reduce, and I'll use VOCs as an example, it's obviously a win-win. Another win was the cost. Traditionally, one may be surprised at first, but folks out there still think that green cleaning products cost more. However, my experience does not reflect that. Another win for us the last 15 years was winning the Silver Award for the Healthy Schools in 2017. At that point, our administration team recognized that green cleaning works. Also in 2017, we won a Silver Standard of Excellence Award by the Healthy Facilities Institute, which is also another reflection of what we're doing as green cleaning or healthy cleaning, which of course is why we're having this webinar today. Is I'm extremely privileged to be selected and serve as the newest member to the Green School Steering Committee. I hope to share our journey and successes with other districts around the country. And of course, the bottom line, which of course we all would agree, healthy schools means healthy students and staff. Next slide, please. Well, here's the big point. One of our biggest challenges is always nothing is easy. Nothing is simple. One of our greatest challenges was that staff members still have the perception that green cleaning does not work as the same as conventional cleaners, despite the years of progress or improvements that we've gone through. Folks are extremely challenged with changing their cleaning habits, as I believe Shawna was saying earlier. The cleaning culture and skepticism is extremely hard to change. However, that is why we have leaders and directors and managers who support this in place, so we can continue to share and educate our staff. I recall a time where I shared with my staff the Green Advocacy Handbook through the Healthy Schools campaign. In addition, I shared with them the 5 steps to green cleaning. All that's available on their website. At minimum, it showed, and it was a visual presentation, that green cleaning exists. It's here. We live it each and every single day. So by using those resources, this allowed them to understand or have a better understanding of what green cleaning or healthy cleaning is. You have to continue to stay on task with staff, and you have to believe in the process yourself so you can convince others that it does work. Next slide, please. My new role as a Green Clean Steering Committee member is to continue the model. And we've had this model for Elk Grove for years, and I realize Chris can probably justify that we clean for health first before appearance, and that has been our 10-year model. And I will take that all the way as long as I'm still here in Elk Grove. Cleaning does matter. I'm extremely honored again to be a part of the committee, and I share the same vision and passion with green cleaning and healthy cleaning habits. My plans are to continue to share and educate our journey with others, leaders around the globe, on green and healthy cleaning. I know I've said it before earlier on that as leaders, we need to continue to look at cleaning processes to help support our students and staff environment for even our facilities as well. We are all on the front line to keep our schools clean and safe and healthy. Next slide, please. In closing, I think it's important to share with all of you and all our listeners that we are all living examples that green cleaning works, and the role is extremely significant, the impact that we have on student learning. I leave all of you with that. Again, thank you for allowing me to share my journey. Keep in mind, cleaning matters. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tony. It's really inspirational to hear about your journey and your passion to make a positive difference. So with that, we're right on schedule with about 15 minutes left for Q&A. I encourage you all to please, in the chat box, you can just send it to the organizers and panelists only, or to everybody, and to send your questions in. While we are waiting for some questions to come in, I do want to revisit poll number 3 and talk with each of the panelists about what most of the folks on the call want to hear more about. Poll number 3 asks, what aspects of the green cleaning stories would you like to know more about? And one of the focus topics was, how has your administration supported green cleaning efforts? So maybe we can just walk it through each of the panelists, starting with Shawna. How has your administration been supportive?
You know, I said in the beginning, my background is financial. So when I tried to get buy-in, when I first started looking at sustainability or green incentives, I really sat down and tried to quantify the financial end of it. And I've been able to do that. My experience has been that, just like my colleagues have said, it is not more expensive to be sustainable. And when you're talking about a business administrator, when you're talking about the superintendent, the business administrator always wants to know how it ties to the finances. What's the bottom line? Is it going to be financially sustainable? And then, of course, you know, I think that ATP testing and proving the validity of the green chemicals on the curriculum end with the teachers and the administrators and the staff actually in the schools, those two things have helped us tremendously with buy-in from our administration. We have not really had any struggles because we've been able to provide that data.
Very interesting. Chris?
I was initially blessed with a very supportive Vice President of Administrative Services, Kathleen Kirkland. Jokingly but seriously at the same time, she knew nothing about custodial, and that was the reason she had me around. I was to provide her with a white paper on justification for a return on cost on changing to on-site generation, and went about doing that change. But it was very interesting once the program started getting noticed and I started putting numbers forward, showing where the savings was going at and the effectiveness of what we've changed to. I initially became, you know, the flavor of the year right now inside Los Rios, with everyone wanting to know more and needing the information on the best practices to move forward on selecting and the process of how to find what's going to work for you, because again, not everything is the same, from Shawna to Tony to Aaron. We all have similars, but a K-12 environment is not the same thing as a community college, and a community college isn't the same as a four-year university. There's certain advantages or disadvantages from each one at times. So it's been very interesting to see the change once you started showing the people who are in charge of making decisions with money the savings that were there with better or equal results on the cleaning side.
Very valuable. Thank you, Chris. Aaron, any thoughts?
Yeah, so, you know, for us, our 10-school system, they do have a mandate, and the mandate is that, you know, each school has to have a green cleaning program. But really, that's the gist of it. They don't really give you any steps as to how to do that, why to do it, where to do it, et cetera. So I know from my campus, the administration has already, you know, embraced that upon me coming here just almost 2 years ago. They understand it's the right thing to do to protect the health and safety of the students, our staff, and faculty. I think one thing that's really helped our group is when we do want new things, whether it's equipment or staffing, we want to realign staffing to be more efficient, to help serve our program better. We've been able to show that by building a business case that's going to show the impact. It's going to show cost savings, and it shows efficiencies that we can create by making specific changes. And through that effort, we've been very successful in being able to get things that we feel that we need to improve our program. As I mentioned in my presentation, one of the things recently we did was we were given pretty large sum of funding to rejuvenate our equipment fleet that hadn't been really replaced in over 10 years. So through building that business case, showing the reasons why, and tying that into green cleaning and how that would impact our campus has really been successful for us.
Thank you, Aaron. Tony?
Well, what I can recommend to all the listeners is do your homework. We had to justify aspects of the program that would best suit the needs of our students. So I'll use on-site generation as an example. Even though our district has many programs in place to keep our kids in school, for example, the No Excuses Go to School program, we have a perfect attendance program where students are awarded a car, or the grand prize is a car. So our process is in conjunction and following with the school district's existing programs and keeping kids in school. We did a one-year pilot program. We worked with our manufacturer vendor, and the proof was in the numbers. We showed a significant savings, and in addition to the health aspects of it, we had tremendous savings, and I proposed that to our director, and from there it went up the chain. Data usually doesn't lie, and we use that justification to slowly progress to where we are today.
Thank you, Tony. Definitely seems to be some consistent themes in all of those answers. Very, very interesting. So we know that ISSA is coming up in just a month from now, and we're very excited. The Healthy Schools campaign will be leading the educational track, and we'll have 2 days of education, and looking forward to seeing many of you there. If I could just ask the panelists to tickle everybody's fancy who might be on the phone and evoke interest in attending. Can you all just share what you're going to be talking about briefly and presenting during the ISSA? So to mix things up a little bit, let's start with Chris.
I will be moderating a panel on starting a green cleaning program. I can't remember the people that I'll be working with off the top of my head, but that is my role at ISSA. I am looking forward to it.
Excellent. Aaron?
Yes, I will be moderating a presentation on the 5 steps to green cleaning. The presentation will go through each step in detail and give folks the opportunity to learn about how they would like to get started and kind of what they need to get started, who they need to engage, products, types of products, innovation, and equipment selection is generally covered in there as well.
Great. Shawna?
I will be talking about how to create a sustainability program that sustains. So I will be using Davis as an example and presenting just a few of the things that we've done, how we came to those decisions, how we got buy-in, and how we're making sure that it will continue years after all of us are gone.
Amazing. And Tony?
I will be part of a panel with yourself and Mark Warner, the CMI Education Manager through ISSA. And our presentation will be talking about best practices for cleaning and disinfection in a green and sustainable world. My role will be to support the panel and to be used as testimonials of what we've done that works.
Thank you, Tony. We're looking forward to that as well. Well, I think we're going to wrap up here. Thank you again for attending this webinar, and a special thanks to all our sponsors. Just a reminder, a recording of this webinar will be available on our website and emailed to all attendees. You may also get to meet all of our steering committee members and hear more in-depth information about their success stories at the Green Clean Schools educational track at ISSA this October 29th and 30th in Dallas, Texas. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to meeting you all. To learn more about the event, including how to register, and our website, greencleanschools.org under events. And with that, I will wish you all a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you again to my panelists.